Most students use ChatGPT to get answers quickly. But what if the same ChatGPT had a built-in feature that could help students learn efficiently than just answering questions? Because that's exactly what ChatGPT Study Mode was designed for. Hey everyone, welcome back to channel, and in today's video, let's look at ChatGPT Study Mode. This is a learning-focused mode inside ChatGPT that's designed to make learning more interactive instead of simply giving direct answers immediately. And according to OpenAI, this experience was built with inputs from teachers, scientists, and academic experts to encourage deeper learning. So instead of just throwing information at you, it tries to guide the conversation step by step. So in this video, let's see how you can use ChatGPT Study Mode and whether it's actually useful for learning. So to begin, head over to chatgpt.com, create your account. And as you can see, I am on the free plan right now. Okay. And before we had option of study here. Okay. Now we can just click on slash and we have study and learn. Okay. Go to that mode and then you can ask whatever you want. So let's try out with a topic and see how this is different. So I'm going to ask, what is JavaScript? Okay, and it'll explain us some concept about JavaScript, and then we can tell how well we have understood or not, and based on that it will give us further explanation. As we can see, JavaScript is a programming language used to make websites interactive. If HTML is the structure of web page and CSS is the design, JavaScript adds behavior. Things like buttons that respond when you click them, animations, live updates, games, and interactive forms. For example, HTML creates a button, CSS styles the button, JavaScript makes the button do something when clicked, right? That's a very good explanation actually. JavaScript console.log hello world. That tells the computer to print hello world. JavaScript is mainly used for web development, most common, mobile apps, games, servers, and backend apps using node.js. Okay, a quick question so I can explain at the right level. Have you written any code before, or is it your very first programming language? I'm going to say the first I am trying to learn, right? While this is happening, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open ChatGPT, right? I'll go to the same same account, and I'm going to ask, what is JavaScript? Okay, so you can see the difference, right? So this was what we got when we were in study mode, while here, okay, JavaScript is programming language used to make websites interactive and dynamic. It runs in web browsers and is one of the core technologies of web alongside HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Okay, for example, JavaScript can show pop-up messages, validate forms, create animations, update content without reloading the page, build games and web apps, handle button clicks and user actions. Okay, and then it has given a few more details, like when the button is clicked, a message appears. JavaScript is also used outside browser. Okay, backend servers with node.js, mobile apps, desktop apps, APIs, AI, and automation tools. Okay, some popular JavaScript related technologies include React, Vue.js, Angular, Express.js. JavaScript was originally created by Brendan Eich in 1995. Okay, and a few important facts, and then if you want, I can also explain blah, 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 right? So you can clearly see a difference. And now here, when I mentioned that the first I'm trying to learn, okay, you can see here, it has adapted the content accordingly. So great. JavaScript is a solid first language because you can see results quickly in a web browser. Think of programming as giving instructions to computers step by step. Here are 3 core ideas you will meet early in JavaScript. Okay. Values, data like numbers or text. Okay. So they've given some example, like 42 is a value. Hello is a value, right? Variables, containers that store values. Okay, like let name equal to Sam. Functions equals to reusable actions. Okay, so function greet, console.log hi. A useful mental model, variables equal to labeled boxes, functions equal to recipes, Programs equal to set of instructions. Let's try a tiny exercise together. What do you think this code will print? Okay, let age equal to 16 and console.log age. For those of you who do not know JavaScript, based on what we have learned so far, could you let me know in the comment below what will the console log actually print? And for those of you who mentioned 16, that's the right answer. So it prints 16. I'm going to mention age, okay, just to see what it does. Close. It prints the value stored inside the variable, not the variable name itself. Okay, so the output would be 16. Age is the variable name and 16 is the value inside it. Okay, quick check. What do you think this would print? Okay, let color equal to blue, console.log color. Now I'll say blue. Exactly right. You are already using a key programming idea. The variable name points to value. Console.log displays that value. Let number equal to 5, number equal to 8, console.log number. Okay, so I'm going to say 5. So basically you can check, it will actually print 8. Good try. Look carefully at this line. Number equal to 8. That changes the value stored in number. So by the time we run console.log number, the variable contains 8. Okay, so based on the answer that you are giving, it's actually trying to help you understand the next set of things that you have to understand about a particular topic. Okay, now it is giving me one more example. Let's see. Score equal to 10, score equal to score plus 5, log score. I'm going to say 15. Correct. Here's what happened step by step. It'll explain me step by step so that I understand how it actually got to a particular value. If I feel that I want to understand about a particular topic, so for example, variables. Okay, I can say, what are variables? Good question. Variables are one of the foundations of programming. A variable is a named container that stores data. Think of it like a labeled box. Name Alex, age 20, score 15. In JavaScript, you often create variables using let. Let city equal to Delhi. Let tells JavaScript to create a variable. City, the variable name. Delhi, the value stored inside. Okay. Then it says, then you can use the variable later. Console.log city. That prints Delhi. Variables are useful because programs need to remember information, update values, and reuse data. For example, a game might store player health, score, level. A shopping app might store item price, username, cart total. Quick practice. Which part is the variable name here? Let temperature equal to 30. So those of you who are learning alongside me JavaScript for the first time, let me know what is the variable name here in the comments below, of course. So the actual answer is temperature. So let's see what it does. Exactly, temperature is the variable name and 30 is the value stored inside the variable. A helpful way to read it is create a variable called temperature and store 30 in it. Right? One more quick check. Let animal equal to cat. Can you identify the variable name, the value stored in it? Okay. So again, let me know in the comments below, right? Or just say to yourself, that's completely fine. Can you quiz me based on what we have learned so far? There you go. What will this code print? Let points equal to 7, console log points. So let me say 7. Correct. It goes to the second question. What will this code print? Coins equal to 3, coins equal to 10, console log coins. I'll say 3. It's actually 10. Almost. Notice this line, coins equal to 10. That changes the value stored in coins. So the output is 10. You are getting the idea. Reassignment is just easy to overlook at first. Okay. Which part is the variable name here? So I'll say country. It goes to the next question and so on and so forth. How well have I done so far? And what are the areas of improvement? Reassignment is the right answer. Let's see if it is able to. You're doing well for a beginner. You are already understood several core ideas in computer science programming. Variables store values, console.log displays value, variable name sources stored values, basic reassignment, adding to a variable. You also answered most questions correctly without much prompting, which is good sign that concepts are sticking. Okay. Your main improvement area right now is tracking value changes step by step. You missed this one. Coins equal to 10. Because the variable's value changed after it was first created, that's extremely common for beginners. A strong habit is to mentally trace the variable. Coin starts at 3, coins changes to 10, print coin, which is 10, right? So it gives us step-by-step understanding of any particular topic, and you can keep asking questions. You can ask it to ask you questions so that you can see how much of that topic have you understood so far and what are the areas of improvement. Some of you might be wondering, how is this actually different from using normal ChatGPT? Because technically, even normal ChatGPT can explain topics. But according to OpenAI, study mode was specifically designed for learning-focused conversations, right? OpenAI says they built this experience with inputs from teachers, scientists, and pedagogy experts to encourage deeper learning instead of just giving instant answers. So the goal here is not just, here's the answer. Instead, the system tries to ask guiding questions, break topics into smaller steps, encourage active thinking, and help students participate more during the lesson. And honestly, for whatever I have interacted with ChatGPT in study mode, I think it actually feels nice, right? When it asks questions and you answer back, and it tells you whether it is correct or wrong, and if wrong, why wrong, okay, what is the right approach, and so on and so forth. It actually helps you learn better and understand the concept deeper. Let's try to understand some of the features of ChatGPT Study Mode. The first one is guided learning. Instead of dumping all the information at once, it breaks topics into smaller explanations and teaches step by step. The second feature is interactive questioning. The AI keeps asking follow-up questions during the lesson, right? We have already seen that. And that's not to test you like an exam, but to make sure you are actively thinking about the topic. Another useful feature is adaptive explanations. If you're confused, you can ask it to simplify the explanation. And if you already know the basics, you can ask it to go deeper into the topic. There's also quiz and practice support. We just quickly saw that as well, right? You can ask for practice questions, revision quizzes, or quick tests based on what you learned. And for coding especially, this feels useful because practice is important. Another thing I liked is that it removes a lot of pressure from learning. When people study in classrooms, sometimes they hesitate to ask basic doubts. But with AI, you can repeat questions multiple times without feeling uncomfortable. And I think for beginners, that can genuinely help a lot. But obviously, as with many other AI tools, this is not perfect. And I don't think AI should completely replace normal learning methods. First of all, AI responses can still be incorrect sometimes, especially for advanced coding problems or very specific technical topics. So it's still important to verify things and practice on your own. The second limitation is practical experience. Learning JavaScript is not just about understanding syntax. You still need to build projects, solve problems, debug errors, and write code yourself. AI can guide you. The most important thing that we have to understand is AI cannot replace actual practice. Another thing is that some people may become too dependent on AI tools. Instead of trying to think through problems, they may keep asking for direct help every time. And over time, that can affect problem-solving abilities. Also, study mode works best for learning and understanding concepts. If your goal is only getting quick answers immediately, normal ChatGPT mode may actually feel faster. So I think the best way to use this feature is as a learning assistant, not as a replacement for studying completely. So overall, ChatGPT study mode actually feels much nicer, and you feel like somebody is there to support you at any given point of time, irrespective of your understanding or depth of that particular topic. So if you have still not given it a try, Give it a try. It's available even in the free plan, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Just before you go, please make sure that you share it with your fellow students so that they are also aware of this particular feature. Thank you once again.